Modern enterprises process millions of transactions a day, creating an immense volume of financial data that requires strict architectural control. In SAP environments, this data is usually split across two distinct system architectures. High-volume recurring service charges are managed within SAP Convergent Invoicing, while the sale of one-off physical goods is processed externally in sales and distribution. This creates a direct conflict with the customer experience. Customers expect a single, unified bill at the end of the month, even though their purchase history lives in completely isolated data silos. If an enterprise fails to strictly manage how these two streams converge, they invite data collisions, delayed revenue recognition, and endless cycles of manual reconciliation. SAP Convergent Invoicing is the specialized consolidation engine designed specifically to merge these disparate architectures. Enterprise billing success depends on the structural merge, the ability to take decoupled system data and synthesize it into a single financial truth. To prevent system chaos during that merge, SAP relies on a strict routing parameter, the source document category. This category acts as the technical DNA of a document. It hardcodes exactly where the data originated and how its structure should be read. Before an invoicing run ever triggers, the Convergent Invoicing engine scans these exact category tags to determine if the incoming data is authorized for processing. By tagging data precisely at its source, the system prevents incompatible data types from colliding when the streams converge at the invoicing node. All of this categorization and filtering happens entirely in the background. Source document categories abstract an infinite variety of billing inputs into a standardized, predictable processing pipeline. SAP provides a set of standard categories out of the box to handle the most common data streams, starting with internal sources. The INVBI category represents standard billing documents. These are documents generated internally within SAP Convergent Invoicing itself. They are typically derived from aggregated, recurring billable items, like a monthly software subscription. That internal data then needs to be merged with external records. This is where the VBRK category comes in, which stands for SD billing documents. VBRK documents originate entirely outside the CI module. They are generated in sales and distribution, and then pushed across the system boundary into contract accounts, specifically for unified invoicing. The distinction is structural. INVBI handles intangible, ongoing services, while VBRK handles one-off, tangible goods. Preserving these distinct identities through their categories is required so the system can accurately recognize and allocate revenue downstream. Together, INVBI and VBRK form the primary bridge between digital service usage and physical sales within the SAP ecosystem. Standard billing covers the bulk of transactions, but enterprise finance requires specialized categories to handle complex accounting exceptions. The ACTIT category, Open Posting Items to be Activated, identifies items that carry special clearing restrictions. The Ad hoc category handles ad hoc invoicing, generating invoicing orders when no standard source documents exist. Colby represents collective bill documents, which tie individual child accounts together into a master parent invoice. And the Cycle category manages periodic invoicing, handling scheduled, automated billing orders. SAP includes these exact categories out of the box, so system architects do not have to write custom ABAP code to handle routine billing exceptions. An exhaustive list of source document categories ensures the invoicing engine processes complex edge cases as systematically as standard charges. Moving from theoretical definitions to actual implementation, these categories are put to use at a specific configuration gate, selection control. Selection control acts as the authoritative filter. It dictates exactly what any given invoicing process is allowed to consume. Consider a standard configuration scenario where we set up a custom invoicing process, designated as Process Z1. This configuration screen shows the definition for invoicing process Z1. We can see the general layout of the selection control module here. Creating Process Z1 achieves nothing until we explicitly assign which source document categories it has permission to see. In this selection control table, we map the exact authorized categories. Here, we can see rows explicitly authorizing ACTIT, ADHOC, INVIB, and VBRK. If a category is missing from this table, Process Z1 will completely ignore those documents during the billing run, leaving them uninvoiced. We can also see the main selection indicator checkbox, which is used to prioritize which specific documents actually trigger the billing run. Configuring selection control is how architects translate abstract business requirements into strict, automated data gateways. Let's ground this configuration in a real-world scenario, generating a telecommunications customer's monthly bill. First, the customer uses their recurring monthly data plan to stream content. This internal usage generates standard billable items. The system automatically tags this data usage with the INVBI document category. During that same month, the customer also purchases a Wi-Fi router from the telecom's retail system. That hardware sale is processed externally in sales and distribution and tagged with the VBRK category. When the billing cycle hits, both INVBI and VBRK data packets arrive at the selection control gate for process Z1. Because it was configured to authorize both tags, the gate opens, pulling the service usage and hardware sale into the exact same processing run. This precise moment, when cross-module transactions merge without manual intervention, demonstrates the actual power of convergent invoicing. The final tangible output of that Z1 run is a single consolidated invoice for the customer. This billing document displays the successful consolidation, detailing the exact source document categories pulled into the final run. Although merged, the document retains its origins, allowing auditors to trace any line item back to its specific source in SD or CI. Simultaneously, a unified receivable posting document is generated in contract accounts, keeping the entire general ledger perfectly balanced. The source document category functions as the definitive control mechanism for SAP BRIM, hard-coding the logic for how every transaction is processed. When architects precisely route these categories, they provide the infrastructure for scalable, cross-module revenue consolidation.